and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And today we are making this square here. Now, I think it's a lovely square and it's really easy to make, and I am going to use this square to make a bag. Now, obviously, you can do whatever you would like with this square. I'm going to show you how to make it in this video, and then in the next video I'm going to turn this into my bag. I also am going to make a lining and of course other things for the bag, like handles and of course the join for the squares. But this video in particular is just about the square. Now, this square is made using 2 strands of yarn. So I'm holding 2 strands of yarn together and considering it as one. And this, of course, has made my square really thick and bigger than what it usually would be if I was only using 1 strand. Now, of course, if you are not making the bag and you love this square, which by the way I have called Primula Square, you can of course make this in a single strand. Your square will be smaller, will be floppier, just like a normal granny square that you would make when you use 1 strand, and you would have to use the normal hook size that you use for DK yarn, if of course you are using 1 strand of DK yarn. Today I am using a slightly bigger hook than what I usually use for DK, but of course we're using 2 strands. So I am using my 4mm hook, which to be honest would not be big enough for 2 strands usually, but because of my tension this is what I use. So I would use a 4.5 to a 5 if you usually use the normally prescribed hook for DK. Okay, so it's worth just trying it out with your first square and see how you like the feel of that first square made with 2 strands with whichever hook that you need to use for it. Now, I will tell you at the end of the video how many squares you need to make for the bag that I'm going to be making in the next video. So stick around for that if you want to make a bag from these squares, just like I did. So the colours I am using today are khaki, spring meadow, vintage rose, rose and natural from the Wendy DK range. You will find all these colours on our website, and there is a link to our website underneath this video, so do go and have a look. I made sure it was easy for me to use the 2 strands together, so I split my yarn, my ball, into 2 using my yarn winder, and this made it a lot easier to use 2 strands together. We're going to get started with our 2 strands of natural, and we make a cross over our fingers like so. You go under this strand here with your hook, go to this strand to bring it back, twisting your hands, bring back a loop like that, twisting again, going back to that back strand, and you are going to pick it up again and bring it through the loop that you created on your hook. Now, the way we do this, we are using a magic circle, is because with working with 2 strands and making, yes, 16 double crochets in our beginning circle, it will make it really bulky if we have a chain 4 and a slip stitch. You can do that, feel free, but it will make the middle slightly bulkier. Okay, so that's why we're doing this. So chain 1 we have here and another chain, so we have 2 chains. So this one will count as a double crochet in a moment when we have closed our round. So now we are going to make 15 double crochets, and then the 16th will be this one. So yarn over, insert into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now, as you notice, I am still saying pull through 2, because of course I am considering these 2 strands as being one, but you also must make sure you see 2. Always make sure you see the 2. If you have lost 1 on your hook, then you will need to go back because your stitch will fall apart, kind of thing. Okay, so I am going to be making my double crochets over the bit where we have, of course, our double strand here, so 4 strands, not the 2, because this is where we will be able to pull and make our magic circle smaller. So I've done 2 double crochets, 3, 4 and 5. Now if you have a little bit of space left here, then what you do is you pull slightly so you make a little bit more space for you to work on. So we've done 5 and I will see you when I have done 15 and 15. So those are my 15 double crochets. Now I'm going to pull this thread gently even more, holding my stitches in between my hand like this to just keep it flat. There we go. And see, by doing that magic circle you have got a nice flat middle. So let's pull it a little bit more even. There we go. Look. Okay. Now to close the round you're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and this is my 15th one. So you go under the 15th. Now I've picked up 2 strands here, I believe. Yes. Is it 2 here? Yes, as well. So make sure you pick up enough strands, okay, because of course we are using double strands. There we go. We do our slip stitch and that has made our 16th stitch. Then we are going to pull out the loop like this, cut off the yarn, pull it through, and I tend to go under the next stitch from the back with my hook, again making sure I've got all those. Pull back your strands, then go back into the stitch where your strands are coming out of and pull those back through there. Voila. So now we have invisibly finished our little circle, and of course this is the center of our flower. Now if you turn it over you will notice that you have of course 4 ends to sew in, so keep on top of sewing in your ends because otherwise it gets quite overwhelming. Now the longer your ends are, the more you can sew in and the sturdier your work will get, which for a bag is a good thing. Okay, for a blanket, if you're making a blanket out of this and you're just using the 1 strand, I wouldn't worry too much about sewing in as long as possible. Here I am actually using the sewing in to make my granny square even sturdier, because of course we want it to be sturdy for a sturdy bag. Your blanket wants to be nice and floppy and cozy, so there's no need to do that. So now for round 2, and once again with our 2 strands held together, we're going to make a slip knot, insert your hook, and we are going to get started anywhere on our little circle here, and we're going to make 3 half double crochets together, chain 1 all around. So yarn over, insert under the V, and of course this time remember you are picking up 4 strands, pull up a loop and do a little wiggle to create the height of your half double crochet together. Then that's the first one, yarn over, insert into the same location, pull up a loop, wiggle wiggle, yarn over, and I tend to sort of put my finger there to hold it all on my hook, into that same stitch, pull up a loop, wiggle wiggle, and you yarn over, making sure you pick up both the strands and you pull through all the loops on your hook. Voila, make sure you don't lose that yarn over of the first one. Then you chain 1. Same thing in the next stitch. And this will be a little bit easier because of course we're not sort of starting from nothing here. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, and as you can see I'm using this finger just to hold everything on my hook, yarn over, and you pull through all the loops on your hook, chain 1, and you are going to do this 16 times. And don't forget to do the wiggle in between, very important. Okay, there we go. So I will see you when you have your 16 little puffs going all around the outside of your work. So that's my last little puff done. Then to close the round, this one closes up. Then I go under this one because that's the first one that's usable really, and I'm going to do a slip stitch there. Voila. So that has finished round 2. I'm going to cut off the yarn. So for round 3 in vintage rows, we are going to, of course, hold the 2 strands together, make our slip knot, insert the hook, and we are ready to get started. So once again, you can start wherever you like, and this time we're going to be using the spaces in between our little puffs that we have created, and we're going to be making 4 double crochets together, chain 2 in this round. So double crochet means yarn over, then you go in between the puff, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So this is your double crochet that you create, which we will then in a moment finish together. So this is where you stop each time. So now you yarn over, you insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop. So that's our third one. As you can see, again, my finger here is helping me to keep everything sort of back on my hook. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop. So now we have our 4 double crochets, and now we're going to finish them together. So you yarn over and you pull through all the loops on your hook. There we go. And now we are going to do a chain 2. 1, 2. We move on to the next location and we are going to do the same configuration. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop. 4 double crochets, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook, and then you do a chain 2. And this is how you are going to continue all around your circle. And of course you will be doing 16 of these. There we go. So I will see you when you have gone all the way around to the start again. Just finishing my round with my 2 chains there. Then you go over to your first cluster here. This one has closed up. I go under the next V and I do my slip stitch there. Voila. And as you notice, yeah, it does not lie flat. It's gone a little bit crinkly, but I can still sort of flatten it like so, and it's fine. It will sort itself out in a moment. So once again, I'm going to pull this collar to the back. Voila, there we go. So now for round 4, we're going to be using Spring Meadow, obviously 2 strands. We are getting started with a slip knot, insert your hook, and this time we're going to get started by making a corner because then we know where we are. So you can start anywhere, and you're going to choose, of course, a chain 2 space. And in here we're going to start with a corner made up of 3 treble crochets, 2 chains and 3 treble crochets. So a treble crochet is yarn over twice, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have it. Yarn over twice, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you repeat that one more time. So then we have 3 trebles. Now we do 2 chains, and then we do another 3 trebles in the same location. So each time yarning over twice, and each time your eyes checking to see that you are not losing a strand. There we go. So that's our corner. Now we are going to do 3 clusters on the side. So in the next 1, 2, 3 locations here, we are going to do 3 clusters of 3 double crochets. So insert and do 3 double crochets into the next location, 3 double crochets, and once more 3 double crochets. Voila. And this is the repeat that we are going to repeat another 3 times. So we're going to make a corner, 3 clusters, make a corner, 3 clusters, make a corner and 3 clusters. So I will see you when you have now repeated this sequence. So your circular work has turned into a square. I have now made it to the end of my round here. As you can see, my circular work has turned into a square. It has flattened out, so that's good news. So let's just close the round, skip that standing stitch, go under the next usable V, and we do a slip stitch. There we go. So I'm now going to cut this one off, and I'm going to do one more round in khaki just to make the square a little bit bigger. So if you are interested, I also have a written pattern for this available on my website, so do go and have a look at that. So I have here the next color in khaki. We're going to do a slip knot, insert the hook, close the loop, and of course this time we have sides and we have corners. So to get started, I'm going to make a corner in a corner, because then you know where you are. Okay, and this round we're all doing double crochets. So 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets in that corner chain space, which will create a corner for us. There we go. Voila. And now we are going to be placing clusters of 3 double crochets in between the clusters from the previous row. So there we go. So that is what we are going to be repeating another 3 times, and I will meet you at the end of the round. Just closing up my round here, going past the one that's closed up and the next one, and doing a slip stitch. So there we go. So this is the end of our square. This is the Primula Square, the square that I chose to make my bag in. So once again, you can do whatever you want with this square, but I am going to turn this into a bag. My square measures 15 by 15 centimeters or 6 by 6 inches. So if you want to turn this into a bag, watch the next bit of the video, because that will give you all the explanation about how many squares you will need to make. If you are making this for a blanket or any other project that you are thinking of, do let me know what you have made with this square. I would love to see your projects in our Facebook group, Ophelia Talks Crochet, and please post them there, because I love to see the new color combinations, but also what you make with them. When I saw this fabric, I really could not resist it. I really fancied it as the inside of my bag. So I decided to get it and to use it for that. So I found the colors matching the fabric in the Wendy DK range. And I found a nice square to make as well. So the Primula Square. Now, the thing is, when you go to Pinterest and you type in granny bag layout, you will get these diagrams of different sizes of bags, different variations of how to put them together, and of course different amounts of granny squares. And I've always wanted to make a granny square bag like that. So this time I thought, right, that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the Primula Square, I'm going to make the number that I require depending on which diagram I'm going to choose. So my diagram requires 13 squares. So go to Pinterest, find one of these diagrams and count, or it tells you how many squares you need. Then come back to me in the next video that I'm going to publish, which will show you how to join, how to make the handles, and of course also how to make the lining. So I hope this will be interesting for you. I hope this will be a nice challenge for us to make our bags. But in the meantime, thank you so very much for watching this tutorial. I hope you like this square. I hope you will make it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!